Okay, we're back again. Surprise, surprise. The first live was more pointed towards Brad Holder, Jeff Brackett, the American Patriots 3%, the law enforcement, the elected officials, and individuals in and around that militia and other militia groups. This time, I'm going to reference back to two videos. I started exposing Lynda Garlick, Grandma, Lena, or Linda's Looking Miller, a praised individual in a lot of Facebook groups, just like Tony Hunt, Julie Melvin, Judy Hathaway, Amy Jones, the same Amy that moderated Props live streams. Props talking about all these leaks, but yet he's refusing to backtrack and fact check himself being involved with Julie Melvin, laughing on his live that was already recorded, by the way, with transcriptions, where she's laughing on a live with Prof about being the one who leaked the crime scene pictures to Robin Boudreaux, who then blacked out those images to where the limbs were only that were over the girls being shown. ACV asked him, "What the fuck is this?" Oh, Julie Melvin asked me if I wanted to get the crime scene photos, and she wanted to prove that Rick Snay sent her the pictures. To prove that Rick Snay sent Julie Melvin the pictures, she sent them to Prof, who then made it into content where he could make money for it, sat there admitting that for hours he zoomed in on a little girl's naked body who is sitting still on his laptop, his desktop. You think he got rid of those images? You've got a nude little girl murdered, naked body on Robin Boudreaux's desktop, laptop, cell phone, wherever the God he put it. And who he got it from? Julie Melvin, who went on a live with him, laughing, having a hell of a good time like a little schoolgirl. Now I'm going into other content creators. I'm not holding back. And I'm not trying to get into drama, but I'm going to bring something up and I'm going to make it very, very damn clear. Your Facebook groups, your YouTube groups are a serious threat. Why? When you have individuals like Julie Melvin, Shelly Collins, who was allowed to get access to Carrie Timmons, Libby's mother, thanks to content creators giving Shelly Collins and Richard, aka Rick Collins, who his family ends with Elvis Phillips. I want you to go back. I started showing on Lynda Garlick, her daughter-in-law, for years. Her grandchildren was dealing partners with their mother in Frankfurt. Aaron, 2015. Her daughter, her boyfriend at the time, and then her daughters still live in boyfriend. They all still sit friends with Garrett Kurtz, among other dealers turned killers. They're dealing partners for the same cartel that she admits to being part of. Then you have Lynda Garlick's daughter, Shauna Bradfield, introducing me to her sister-in-law, ex-sister-in-law, still her best friend, Erin Unger, out of Frankfort, Indiana, admitting to multiple years dealing for the cartel right there in Frankfurt. I want you to go back. Erin's threats to me using Adam, her boyfriend that was in jail at the time, serving time. I asked, who's Adam? Oh, that's Erin. My ex-sister-in-law, still best friend, is what Shauna Bradfield. The full conversation I've got to this day. Even though she's deleting her Facebook, Shauna, it worked. I already screenshot all that. You guys laughing about you and your family's longtime relationships with the cartel and their operation right there in Frankfurt, that car repair shop. Oh, they really, didn't they? And the ones that were asking about what I was meaning about Brad Order, the inbred little chin scratch tattooed on Amber Horner's back needs to go into evidence. I won't see a compromised Brad Rossi or a very compromised Mark Lehman. Either one of these, and their good old boy relationships, friendships with proven dealers from 2018 even to 2025. Both of those defense attorneys are highly compromised, lived for years in Kokomo, worked in Kokomo. The elected officials, you've got like Greg Goodnight, being friends with Gabe Ellis's mother, Bonnie Earlbeck, ERL, hold on, ELERBECK, Bonnie Earlbeck is Gable Sebastian Ellis's mother. For years, she set friends with elected officials. Like I said, fireworks regulations defense. I'm pretty sure Andrew corrupted the cartel ties and connections. His hands were tied. His partner didn't want to go into it. His daughters, family, friends. Going back to what? That same cartel. Dealer after dealer. Convicted killer after killer. This isn't just saying. This is showing. And if I seen it, there's feds outside of Indiana that's already seen this, documented this, and as much you try to hide it, justice will come to light. The Good Old Boys Club that's been protecting and gaining millions from this cartel, politicians, rank and file law enforcement. Hell, you've got the chief of police at the time, Baker, and his captain Kevin Summers and his son that he forced the city of Kokomo via corruption. Either you hire my son into the city or else. Hmm. But yeah, we're going to get into some very serious subjects come July. I've sat back and let individuals fucking stomp all over my name, call me mentally ill, like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Why you got individuals like Christine Salazar, not Czar, Z-E-R, Zalazar, begging for $10,000 on a GoFundMe while she's sitting right there June 10th. Few stories up, enjoying a beach and ocean view. She only wants you guys to look at the public profile that she made for the defense team, but her private profile, she made sure the spelling of her last name was AR for the public profile that you all see, and she added Jason to. But imagine this, a hidden profile, the exact same city, everything she's talked about, wife, the kids, everything is showing it June 10th. Nice little profile picture of a beachfront property, looked like a hotel, probably about 8-9 stories up, having a wonderful ocean view. Hell, it was so amazing, she made sure to put it as her backdrop photo on her hidden Facebook account. Ding, ding, ding. You're asking for $10,000 on a GoFundMe. You're supposed to be at home, but yet on your hidden profile, you're celebrating and having a good time, beach time, vacation time, enjoying a beach and oceanfront property. That's a luxury to many people. How you got some people that are barely making ends meet, getting evicted, going on the streets, but still donating to you and your call and your buddies. And oh, give us everything you know. I'm going to warn you about these content creators. You've got ones like Tony Hunt, Julie Melvin, Lynda Garlick, Shelly Collins, Judy Hathaway. Adding each other to Facebook groups and then adding me. Then you had ones like Tina Riddell admitting that she tampered with whose blood evidence? She even admitted it to the chat as a whole. Where Tony Hunt, the same names I listed, we're adding each other and others to a group chat, just like they're doing in content creators' Facebook chats. Did you realize, like I said, Rich and Shelly Collin, she operated and ran 2 Facebook Delphi groups, Facebook Delphi groups, and belonged to multiple more. The whole time the defense are begging everybody to send them all they have on Elvis Fields. You want to know what Shelly, Lynda Garlick, these cartel friends and affiliated, their friendships go back to that cartel, that drug ring, the ones in between and behind more than one missing and murdered case. You had Shelly and her husband Rick, whose family is longtime family friends with Elvis Field in Rushville. They live right there in Rushville. Rick and Shelly would come from Kokomo down to Rushville where his family lives, and it's either Elvis was there. She tried saying only once. I finally got out of her. It was multiple times, even when she was operating these groups and these groups, gathering all this information, then going into Facebook groups like Teresa, like Criminality's Facebook group, Amy, her Facebook group, and among others, we have members of the cartel being moderators, like Toby Garth. She doesn't want you to hear, let alone see, the threats her and Toby Garth did to me. Either I shut my fucking mouth or else. Physical harm. Why? Because I was speaking up Toby Garth. The time that he himself, on his own profile, the Ag Resource Center on Prince William Road, 100 South. If this doesn't ring a bell for you, it's the same Ag Resource Center where his daughter's dealing partners and friends like Derek German, Dustin Prater, was stealing ammonia, where he was a branch manager, head manager of that Ag Resource Center. Then you had other individuals like Gabriel Spastinellis, Heather Ferris, manufacturing meth using that very same ammonia. Try to find Gabriel Ellis and Heather Ferris manufacturing ammonia charge. Carroll County. It happened right there in Prince William Road and 100 South in Carroll County. But if you go look on his My Case, that same exact raid where Tony Liggett was the responding deputy, it was tried not in Carroll County, but Miami County. Is that because ISP? Or how the hell can you get busted for manufacturing meth using the ammonia where Toby Garth worked and was a longtime branch manager, where his daughters, dealing partners, and friends belonging to a now designated terrorist organization and terrorist acting within that terrorist organization. So them admitting that they killed Nicole Bowen to protect a cartel terrorist organization is an act of terrorism. It was then and it is now. Giving aid, benefits, mutual aid, protections to terrorists of a foreign terrorist organization is a federal crime within itself. So by all means, continue tampering with a federal witness turned federal living victim, Amy and Toby. Your threats, those messages, those emails, you thought I got rid of them. I still have them, just like I have Ash, ASHLEY, full friends list, and the videos that she was posting while on the run with Garrett Kurtz. Remember the big old googly ass fucking glasses, the hoodie up, and talking about fucking, we don't know what you're talking about on Nicole. We had nothing to do with it, man. The video she did on her Facebook Live while on the run with Garrett. Then you have Garrett, his friends, along with hers. He was trying to name one that got the snuff film from other kindred members. Oh, if only. Oh, wait. Here come July. You're about to see Ashley Garth, full friends list. Toby Garth, full friends list. And why does this matter? Look up Bruce Stockett, fake sovereign citizen judge, 38 years behind bars. His Facebook, his messages, his texts got him behind bars, just like I got the 3, but there's more. And Robert Pitts, Terre Haute police officer, federal ties and connections to Deputy Jacob Pickett out of Boone County. The FBI acted on Boone County and Terre Haute 2 badges out of 4. There's more. Greg Ferenczi, the same militia that Brad Holder, Jeff Brackett, many of these names were sitting in my Baffy informant files for years, including the full membership list, the commander's list, and all contact information to this militia. I still have, just like the who, what, when, where, and why. The Odin report that started the Odin report. Fact check me. That started mere days, just days right after Karina McClurkin, October 11th, 2016. That Odin report started with Baffy, BAFFY. That same Odin report was part of a 2-part process. When you had militia members like Brad and Amber Holder recruiting fellow militia members to come to Delphi from February, 10th through the 12th at Ron Logan's property to come train with them. They have friends of theirs bringing a hell hog for a hog roast, and bring your own food, bring your own beer. We'll supply the hog, but come train and our friends. Then how about this, Brad? How about you admitting that when you were making these homemade forged weapons, just like the weapon that was used, the ceremonial sword in Delphi? On page 111 of Kyle Stacy's Book of Troth, your ceremonial sword you made, exact match that had the blood of the Delphi girls being paraded around like a war trophy, while others in your little Tyrs, Tyrs, Hellhounds, Norse and Pagan Indiana Kindred, you redid the name. You stupid fucking inbred clown. I already know the new name of your kindred. I've known it for years now. But it was your militia, your groups, your chats, your recruiting to come train with us is what had the domestic terrorism, threats like you and your friends that set my files for years, that had the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force and Michael Curtis, my handler, already in Delphi. I hope to God this rings a bell. It's a laughing matter when they were talking about racism in motorcycle clubs. It was a hell of a laughing matter then, now wasn't it, Bradley? Like I said, you want to come visit me after I do what I need to do. Think about this. Where was that little instant, if you hit an enemy, even from a distance, in the groin area? My AR, I bring it up. My handgun, I bring it up. It's not that I want to aim there. Anybody that's coming at me as a physical threat, if I was to raise my hand up, you're taught to point and shoot. If it's a threat coming in closing distance, you aim at the first. It should be center mass. Me, I'd have to aim up to go with center mass. My center mass is what is level in front of my weapon. The deadly drop zone. You are hit from the lower abdomen, your legs, your thighs, your groin area. It's where I'm forced when a deadly threat is coming at me. So, riddle me this. How am I at a disadvantage when I have to bring my AR up, which is not even an AR, it's an M4556. NATO, semi-auto. Doesn't have the auto option, but here soon it's about to have a silencer. Now it's going legal. It's about to be a short barrel rifle. Now it's legal. But if I have to bring my weapon up and bear it onto somebody that's a physical threat coming at me, my first area is a groin shot. So how's it a disadvantage to me? You get hit anywhere in that area just once, you're automatically down. You're down for the count. You're bleeding out. I'm not bragging, but if they physically come at me like they've done before, the left side of my face, my upper jaw, I still have to get facial surgery from attacks that the KPD and the FBI allowed happening. Why, I was an active FBI informant, but the Chief Robert Baker, if I was such a good federal snitch, so aren't they doing anything? Well, it helps when you have a certain elected official that's sitting over the Joint Terrorism Task Force of Indiana. And I sure wondered why that the agent that was over me, that was involved with the Joint Terrorism Task Force, he had to get some orders from above him, including the chair member of Kokomo, Senator Jim Buck. The same James Robert Buck, aka Jim Buck, that was longtime friends with corrupt politicians like Jamie Noel. How about the Muncie corrupt individuals? The cops, elected officials, stealing millions from the taxpayers, money laundering. Longtime friends, but Jamie Noel, he was actually at the Trump inauguration the first time around because of Mike Pence. Oh, I'm getting into some touchy subjects now, ain't I? And not only am I able to bring this up, say this, speak about this, but like I said, fireworks are going to fly in 4th of July, baby. But the whole month of July, I'm going to be lighting firework after firework, bomb after bomb off, and just letting them explode and letting the light be shown. The FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force, Agent Michael Curtis, one of the first agents that were involved in Delphi, that was already in Delphi on a domestic terrorism investigation involving militia and Odin individuals as a one group for the 2 days, one night, from February 10th through the 12th at Ron Logan's property. I'm not able to just say this. I can show you the who, what, when, where, and why, down to what had my handler, Michael Curtis, and the FBI domestic terrorism investigation they had. It's the same investigation I tried speaking up to Matt Hoffman and Andrew Baldwin, multiple meetings, but they were already mindset on just Brad and Brad only, not his kindred, not the real kindred that he belonged to, not the militia that he goes back into, where there's proven. The leak I caused in 2020, I was proving that there was active military, active police, that includes local, state, county, federal, even. Tony Slocum, like I said, Frank Castiello, he was one of the ones that made the Constitutional Sheriff's Association, where Boone County Sheriff Michael Nilsen at the time, others like him with the like-minded mindset. And like I said in the last live, remember the OK, the white supremacist symbol? It's not white power. It's we are the 3%. Look it up. The militia, 3%. Silent hand signal. Want to know what this is? It's this one right here. Right there. When you're seeing that, the AKA white power, it ain't white power. That right there is we are the 3%. If you look up Alabama SWAT members in trouble for a white power hand signal, remember what was it? One of the hurricanes. You had Coast Guard members right there in a call center and operation center, right on live national TV, throwing up, we are the 3%, we are the militia. This militia group, it does have white supremacist mindset individuals that their clan groups got so well known, were so able to fucking be pinpointed, where they started hiding within the red wave. They would join militia groups and get along with the blacks, whites, Mexicans. Hell, I can show you proven fact where there was practicing Muslims and active military within American Patriots 3%. You had both black, white, brown, yellow. They were all part of that group. All creeds, all races, all religions. And within that, you had certain individuals, cartel dealers. You're supposed to be non-felon, no criminal history, but certain individuals, and with the help of some law enforcement that were members. But yeah, when it comes to Tony Slocum, here come July, his full friends list, Frank Castiello, among other. There's dozens and dozens of militia members that belong to the same groups Brad belonged with, or ran around, or was a hang around in. Wasn't these motorcycle clubs and the whole racism bullshit that they tried running off with, and Brad and his good old boy club buddies were having a good fucking laugh about that, just like Brad was. They had you chase down and go the wrong direction. Brad and his good old boy club friends and cartel dealer friends and family didn't want you going down the correct route. Back to where it even shows where he was compromised. Still to this day, Mark Lehman, just the same. Highly compromised. When you have 2018 cartel dealers, then you have 2025 dealers, and it raids in between 2020, 2022. This is just Kokomo. Then you have other dealers like Brett Sandifer. When there's city and county elected officials that he's sitting friends with, like Tony Liggett, then you have Tina Riddell coming in and her sister, Christy Lynn Martin, being friends with some of the same elected officials and rank and file law enforcement that Brett Sandifer and others to. They were friends with. And you have Tina Riddell admitting tampering with blood in a basement. When I asked whose blood was it? You had certain individuals going off running, Travis Janicki, Tyler Nero French, all these fucking names, then added a few other names to it that she thought belonged to it, then running off and putting it into a timeline. Did they even bother to show you the text messages with Tina Riddell and myself, where she's admitting that my daughter was involved? She helped. She was there with Karina McClurkin. She knows where Karina is, but now she's sitting best friends with Jerry McClurkin, Andrew Joe Glassburn, getting praised by Marv and Frank. Oh, when it comes to Frank Meister, Shane Kersage, the fucking chomo, do I have a fucking problem with you? Bitch boy, yes I fucking do. You and the Dillers and the cases there in Indianapolis, you don't want to bring up like Jamie Beasley, Mariah Kern, aka Mariah Coy, Tony Klein, that you and your Diller friends go back in and around one after another, after another, after another. And it's each and every single one of these cases you don't want to bring up. Why? Who you're friends with, the Dillers, and where they go back from one case to the next. Baby Emil Robertson, her mom, Frank Assange, and others, him and his friends go back to Amber Robertson. Baby Emil Robertson's mom that only got 6 years. Her boyfriend only got 10. They both refused to give up where baby Amia Robertson's body is. Oh, wait. I'm going to get to another case here recent. A 3-year-old. The same cartel drug ring. These affiliations. The Good Old Boys Club. Back to a 3-year-old Marianne girl that was murdered and found dead in Maryland. I'm coming out, and I'm coming out swinging in July. And like I said, I'm not just saying this. I'm going to come out with receipts like Tony Hunt, Julie Melvin, Lynda Garlick, Shelly Collins, all adding each other with Amy Jones and others into Facebook groups like the Girls Rules, what is it? Girls Rule, Delphi Chat, but adding in individuals like Tony Hunt, Julie Melvin, Judy Hathaway. Hell, you were giving Shelly Collins, best friends with Elvis Field, everything she needed, including access to Carrie Timmons. Look at my recent. I rehashed that up, brought that up on my wall post. I've been letting these cocksuckers run their fucking mouth to me left and right, attack me left and right. I'm going to jump into this drama shit just very, very slightly. Like Christine saying I stalked her to Criminality's live chat. It's funny where I've got timestamps where I'm already in the chat. Then about an hour later, hey, I heard I needed to come to the chat and start attacking me. Why? Because I spoke up for 2 underage children. You said you're an advocate for innocent victims. How about Blaine Nelson's 2 sons? They were already getting beat. Why? For who their great uncle was. Distant uncle, Flint Farmer. You had Karina's mother's side friends and family beating Blaine Nelson's sons. Their kids beating them. Then the adult Dillers and best buddies with Marlena and her side of the family, adults joining in and jumping along with their children, Blaine Nelson's 2 sons, for who their great uncle was. Then you had content creators like Christina Stewart and Richard Stewart. You might want to look up their felonies out of Madison County, Indiana. Her fraud, counterfeit, his shooting a child underage, got a protective order on him for a year, was not around anywhere around that child for a year. Why? Because he shot him. Want to know what Christina, aka True Grit Crime, Christy? Oh, it was an accident. Give us a break. How about the threats, the messaging, the Facebook messages, the texts? You were trying to lure me out of the casino? Oh, we're just extending an olive branch. Trust us. Don't grab your gun. Don't tell your family you're leaving. They won't know you're missing till after. Your exact words, word for word, in writ, Christina. But oh, let's make you a private investigator. How about let's go to Teresa, criminality. You sending individuals like Kate, aka pre-consent, Gambies. Shall I list all the names in the wave after wave after wave? Or how about let's get into your former YouTube partner, Vanessa Walsh, getting stalked, harassed to the point where she had to get a lifetime protective order against what is it, Lana, or Ani? Look up Vanessa Walsh, stalking harassment case. She used to be business partners with Teresa, aka Criminality. Her best buddy, Truth and Transparency, aka Laney Orani, has a lifetime protective order against her by Vanessa Walsh. Look back to the 2022 case where Vanessa had to prove her case in court. It's unlike Delphi, the whole court case is free to see. It's out there. Look it up. The things people do for money, including adding individuals to groups, then laughing, oh, it's only a misdemeanor, nobody cares. Each and every single one of these content creators, Prof, Rick Snay, Teresa, the list goes on. Not one of them will talk shit about Julie Melvin. They'll protect her at all costs. Why? Where do you think they got the fucking crime scene leaked photographs? The continued leak was Julie Melvin and the content creators. The same content creators allowing individuals like Shelly Collins, Lynda Garlick, to get them and their family, their friends, all they need to keep themselves out of prison. You think I'm full of shit? I just showed just 60 pictures of the dozens and dozens and dozens that's about to come to light. Just like Lynda Garlick, her daughter laughing about, oh, they really did fix my Durango when I wrecked it. The longtime family friendships with Ron Logan. I've got Lynda Garlick on video camera, audio and video. She's on the audio talking about being best friends and visiting Ron Logan whenever she felt like it. The same video that on her van's dashboard was picking up where she was talking about, and it even drove me to the road that goes back to the shoe tree. A lot of the things that you're just now finding out about, Lynda knew, including being able to visit her best buddy, Ron Logan, wherever the fucking damn well she felt like it. Oh, but the day he was home, when I was going to spend a few days up there with her and her family, Oh, no, no, let's not bother him. Let's not bother him. All I was going to ask is like the militia group training on her property. And I was going to catch it, the look on his face going ghost white. How the fuck did you know it wasn't a motorcycle club and a bunch of racists? It was a militia group training there on Ron Logan's property. And again, my Baffy informant files, we thought they had enough to go after Ron Logan, his property, based on the domestic terrorism investigation involving that militia group that was training on his land. It was Brad Holder and Amber Holder and a few others putting that on from February 10th through the 12th, 2017. Just like I'm going to show where Brad Holder is admitting multiple times. People are asking, where do you get the railroad ties and the plates that you cut down and you forge into homemade weapons? Where do you keep finding all those? Oh, I walked the Monon High Trail in the bridge all the time, both sides of the bridge, looking for railroad ties. We got the old Monon Railway and bridge right here in Delphi. That's where I keep finding all my railroad ties that I'm making homemade forged weapons out of and selling to fellow militia members, Brad. Remember, you openly was asked, where do you keep getting all the railroad ties from? And in a Facebook group on American Patriots 3%, you openly let it be known to your fellow militia members, including your medical commanding officer, Michael Phillips. Look back on your paperwork, little boy. Jeff Brackett. Scott said, it's Scott Seddon, Seddenn, or however the fuck you spell it, but he goes by Scott Said. He is the founder of the American Patriots, 3%, that had multiple members of his militia turning into serial killers. You had 3 that I federally tied and connected back to Robert Pitts, Terre Haute police officer, murdered in the line of duty. There was a murder right before his of the man's roommate. You had militia members admitting on their way down what they're about to do. They trusted their commanding officer. I wasn't no snitch. They admitted to me in texts and recorded phone calls where they just left the apartment where that officer was killed. What the fuck's going on? Then, at the same time, freaking the fuck out. They're admitting to things that got them federally tied and connected, but there's others that walked away free. Just like 96 days after Delphi. Another long-time individual, only this time Curtis Beck, and his brother out of Kokomo were forced on me by Michael Curtis and the Joint Terrorism Task Force. He helped kill his roommate, Jeremy Patterson. After another domestic terrorism threat to human life was allowed to go through and assist that same drug ring, his friends, on killing his roommate, forcing his roommate to go to the store with him. Why do you think Jeremy was outside smoking a cigarette? He did not need anything from that store. Kurt Beck. Wait till you see all his ties back to Jeff Brackett. And I'm going to give you a little name. So much for the racist whole mindset the defense wanted to put in your mind. Damion, Damion Swoke out of Kokomo is one of many names like Jeff Brackett and his fellow militia members like Brad Holder are sitting friends with, and the same names, him and his friends, go back to Garrett Kurtz. How about Nico Washington, NICO, Washington? Richmond, Indiana. Killed two informants. Just like Garrett Kurtz was leaked, Nicole was about to roll. The Good Old Boys Club would make sure individuals like Brad, Gabriel Ellis, and others. Oh, some more information. What was the same little cover story used by Amy Ellis back in 2005, 2006, when she was allowed to make a phone call to her at the time husband in prison, who not long just after. Oh, you'll be surprised what Kyle Stacy, one of his lower dealers, Justin, let it be known to me. Right after Amy Ellis called Gabriel Ellis, a few days after, he wrote on his Saxon Night white supremacist gang members there in Westville, along with Westville IDOC employees. Oh, that's another thing. Come July, the Indiana Department of Correction, rank and file IDOC employees, especially, fact check me here on when it comes to places like Westville, Miami Correctional is severely bad right now. All the cartel dealers going back to IDOC employees like Gabriel Ellis and his Saxonite white supremacist prison gang. Westville 2005. He was the fourth Saxonite that came forward and got into protective custody. If you call the IDOC where he's at right now in Plainfield, was it Plainfield? You'll find out that he is in protective custody. Anytime he goes back to prison for rolling on prison staff and gang members, he's automatically in protective custody. You think he's just hoping and praying before he gets out here soon, they won't put him in the same protective custody as Richard Allen? There's a lot of things like some certain dealers in a certain family. You praised Michaela Babcock in the slumber party at a known active drug house that was just raided days before. Michaela Babcock walked out of a hell of a lot of charges for who stayed the night over at her active drug house. But look up Michaela Babcock. The same slumber party, the house where she lived, she was just busted days before an active drug house, maintaining a common nuisance and dealing narcotics, meth, and narcotics out of that house that, oh, nothing to see here. When, oh, just like Blaine McClellan, Nick's family is sitting longtime friends with a underage child of a dealing partner of his. What the hell are dealing partners with Derek doing sitting friends with a underage child? His daughter, Liberty. Dealer after dealer like Blaine McClellan was sitting friends with his daughter, but nothing to see here. The money laundering. Certain appraisal companies would overinflate rental properties, land, that the good old boy friends of theirs would pay them a certain amount. And it's more than one appraisal company getting paid to inflate the value of the property so they can do a quick sell. And that's extra money. The more money it can be inflated to, that's more money being cleaned for the cartel and more money coming back to them. I'm about to show and dig into and show a lot of shit that's going to piss a lot of people off. But I'm going to show you, just like I showed in Shelly Collins, being allowed directly to talk and communicate with Terry Timmons, thanks to these content creators, Julie Melvin, and friends she got best buddies with. Julie, that you allowed Shelly Collins, that was giving Elvis Phillips everything he needed, even admitting, oh, I didn't realize Elvis' name was said by the defense. It's one of the biggest names said. He's admitting to shit, spitting on the girls, but oh, you didn't know about that? Hmm. Real believable now, is it? Hmm. But like I said, go back, look those two videos. That's just 60 screenshots of the hundreds I have. I've got the full conversation. By all means, I'll do a live where I pull up the full conversation with Shelly Collins. I've already got a screenshot, word for word, where I finally got forced out of her, just like Tina. You'd have to force information, knowing and showing, look, I know the outcome of this already. I know what I'm seeking. It's time for you to fess up. No more bullshit. No more fucking games. No more boohoo wah wah. Fucking sob stories. Cough it up. Just like Shelly Collins and her husband goes from having one meeting, his family's in Rushville, to turned out to be multiple. Hmm. Like I said, it's more than just the individuals. It's the individuals and content creators, what they do for money and views. Getting information exactly back to the same individuals and their family and friends to keep them out of prison. It's a different story when I've got outside of Indiana federal authorities looking at a terrorist organization and one's elected and rank and file law enforcement. When you're making money, just like these appraisal companies and others within this good old boy system, money laundering and making money for this cartel, it's no longer your good old boys club and your local dealers. It's a terrorist organization and terrorist acting within. Fact check me again. When it's targeted to coerce, like coercion, fear, intimidation of a targeted group like the troubled community, the 20 plus children of the troubled community that were born into dealers and family that were dealers and involved money laundering, cleaning money for the cartel to dealing for the cartel. You had 20 plus children. Their lives are no longer here for their actions and decisions of family members. And all this ring, all this cartel ringing, it's serial killers. It's dealers turned killers. All they need is the assumption of you're going to roll, you have rolled, to act. Go back and look back the Tears Hellhounds. That video, them praising a victory just like the rune that was on Megan Riddell's neck, where her and her boyfriend, Kiegan, 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 that's where Keegan got Kiegan. When I was introduced to Keegan by his girlfriend, Abriana Walter, right there on Walnut Street, your daddy's Jeep sitting across the road, I was introduced to her by her mom, her boyfriend. This is Keegan Klein. Adriana's boyfriend. When things didn't work out between those two, he got with Adriana's cousin. That's who he was with when he got busted. But do you realize he was hanging around Adriana's brother while she was underage just to hang around? When she turned of age, they finally let it be known. We're dating. It didn't work out with her, so he got with her cousin. Just like Sierra Daly had another kid. I still say Gabriel Ellis is the dad of the first kid. There's enough familiar DNA of his first, like one of his sons, to be enough to where, oh, that's the dad of her baby. Now, the second one, with Gabe being in jail, makes sense. The first one, the time frame back one months earlier, instead of being with Gabe Ellis's son, you were with Gabe himself, on the run with him. Your own family, Marlena, and that side of the family. Oh, remember the post and letting it be known that, oh, she was going to Gas City, north of Delphi, sending the law enforcement, everybody up there, and it was planned. Oh, and speaking of Blaine Nelson, his dealing partner, did you guys not realize and pay attention when it came to asking about Gabe being involved in Delphi? Was he? Yes. Then I got out of Ashley, Blaine's fiance, here recently, where the same apartment where Tina is saying the blood in the stairway on the walls and the steps leading down to the basement of Gabriel Ellis's daughter, Haley's apartment, Tiffany Tender was the one, February 15th, that called them in. That was pre planned. Haley, Gabe's daughter, girlfriend, was the one that called and tipped him in that they were at their apartment February 15th. That was to get the heat off them because they weren't expecting the heat on them. But Blaine Nelson's fiance, Ashley, she just let it be known that the same basement that Tina was saying that the blood on the stairway, the steps, and then the walls and the floor of that basement was the same basement that Gabe Ellis, Blaine Nelson, Kyle Stacy, uh, Tyler Joe French, Josh Ebeling, Megan's was now husband, new baby daddy. I think they divorced and still living together. Some weird shit, but it's some inbred fucking shit I never understand. But they were involved in two murders together. But at the time of Karina in Delphi, the three murders, she was with Kaigan Kalis. His dad, aka Eight Ball. Oh, wait till I show what Tina had to say about aka Eight Ball and Tyler's family living right next to the Monon High Bridge and up and moving. Oh, that's another member, just like how Paul Wyman, former politician, is a board member of more than one mental health facility. You've got Kaigan Kalis, his dad, Scott, aka Eight Ball, being a manager of the halfway homes. Huh. This good old boys club knows how to protect its millions being made, just like some certain families that ran and operated certain appraisal companies. They don't want you to see the millions in real estate they had while you're still begging for donations to help. If they were so worried about getting information, for two little girls' innocent murders, I would have sold two or three of my own rental properties instead of keeping them and get the money keep blowing. I would have sold what I needed to and put that money myself. Here, I'm putting this in, a couple million in my real estate, and to reward. You thought what? And don't say I'm wrong. 350,000 after the 100,000 donation. Look beforehand. It was about 245, 248. Then 100K would have made it 348, 350,000. It only went up a few thousand. There's thousands missing, but there was supposed to have been 100K donation. Where did that other 240 some? And fact check me again. If you go back to Wish TV 8, other news channels, look before the big donation, the monster $100,000 donation. Where was the reward fund sitting at? About 240, 250K? Then 100K donation would have made the math ain't mathin'. If it was 240, 250 right in there, that would have made it 340, not still around 200 and some. There's multiple thousands of dollars missing of that reward money. Where did it go? Oh, just like the Good Old Boys Club, the elected officials that are sitting friends with Christy Lynn Martin, a local Florida dealer, and her family and friends, they made sure to soak all that money in and divvy it up amongst themselves. And it's the same elected officials like the firefighter, the city and county, or the town and county, floor wise, sitting friends with a longtime dealer like Christy Lynn Martin. Imagine that. But you remember, I'm the one mentally ill here, not all here in the brain. I'm not all right in the membrane. I think it's kind of funny where, huh, Christine and a bunch of others running around. You need to ask Matt Hoffman, ask Andrew Baldwin, the credible informant that came forward, the credible FBI informant that came forward to Matt Hoffman and Andrew Baldwin was none other than me. They chose to go the MC route and racism route, when if you went the right direction, it would have showed a compromised defense attorney and a good old boy's corruption making millions. You'll see adult daughters, wives, family, close family friends, each going back to good old friends like Brad Holder, his friends, and other third party suspects in a cartel drug ring. Like I said, I wonder how that happened. Living and working in Kokomo, your kids going to Kokomo like Taylor and Western school corporations. They're adults now, buddy. Your corruption. Mark Lehman, just like you, the same way. You can hide here in Indiana, the Good Old Boys Club helping, including when you have two and more elected senators, good friends with corrupt individuals too worried about making and feeding their careers. There's careers made and funded by this cartel and this drug ring and the ever ending money laundering scheme. As long as the good old boys club and the drug ring, the dealers turned killers are protected, the money keeps going around and around and around, and millions going into pockets and pockets and pockets. But what they don't want you to see is about to come out in full force. And I'm not going to show everything. I'll get to the good few points, the hard points, where there's enough national outrage behind me. It's already sitting in Washington, D.C. There's a congressional judicial committee an investigation to happen on elected officials, including senators here in Indiana, and their ties and connections back to the cartel and the money laundering that's been going on for decades now. When you're giving aid and protections to a terrorist organization and terrorists that are acting in that terrorist organization, it's treasonous. When you're protecting killers, child killers, because the money and the political careers that were built by this cartel, it's all going to start crumbling down. When you got elected officials being imprisoned, indicted for RICO, corruption. It's not just that. You thought it was just a RICO investigation? It's a foreign terrorist investigation now, and giving aid and protections to terrorist organizations and terrorists acting upon that terrorist organization. And fact check me, like I said, missing and murdered, when it's targeted individuals of like this troubled community to induce fear, coercion, you fall in line or you're next. Remember, just like the X they put on Libby's neck, look up the Gebo, Gebo rune. You really want to be blown away? The rune poems, they don't want you to know. The messages, the binding runes, the runes that they left to make a message. It was about to be coming out in full light, including the individuals of the kindred that were praising their victory and reliving it each anniversary of the girl's death. Hell, right after Richard Allen was arrested, you had Kyle Stacy even share the "Let's Light It Up" for Abby and Libby after reliving their praising of their victory. They wanted the message loud and clear. What goes around comes around. Well, guess what, little boys and girls? What goes around comes around. And when the good old boys club can no longer protect you, and their good old boys club upper, Mike Pence is about to have his ass in some very hot water. But you think I'm bullshitting on ones like Jamie Noel, NOEL, a corrupt politician, sheriff, stealing millions? Hmm. Good friends with James Jim Buck, Mike Pence. This gets real deep. And there's political careers, like I said, over decades being funded and fueled by this cartel drug ring. And the same one that chose you to be his vice president, Mike, he's been looking for a real good reason to come at your ass and your friends. And I'm about to give him the ammo. Oh, wait. I done did, cocksucker. I can't wait to see Mike Pence in prison 2025. It's going to be a beautiful sight, just like the other Good Old Boys Club. The judges, the attorneys, Just wait till I start showing like Allen County Prosecutor's Office. Their staff saying they're friends with cartel dealers. Imagine that. Oh wait, Fort Wayne's one of their areas of operation, just like Richmond, LaPorte, Gary. All hell is about to fly.